Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, so here we are. We're at the end, right? And whatever happened in Kazakhstan, right, is coming here. All right. Well, what happened? The sword, war, guns, knives, okay, and we'll get into it. Famine and pestilence, all right? In yesterday's video, not the World War III update, but yesterday's video, we showed that they had a big germ warfare laboratories down there. And the first place that they went when they broke in, they destroyed the president's house and cars. They went directly to the armory. They secured a bunch of weapons, and they went to where the germs were, the pathogens, okay? Because they knew exactly what they were going in there for. So that was part of the operation. Another part of the operation was to shut that place down and steal the people's money, and we'll go into that, all right? So here we are, Ezekiel 7, let's start at 2. The end. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. That's the whole world. We're at the end of the world as we know it. The end is now upon you. And I, who's I? The Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. And I will judge you according to your way. See, you didn't think that this day was coming so you could go out, do what the fuck you want, be a demon, be a hoe, right? Lie in the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, right? You thought you could get out there and do whatever the fuck you wanted. And here we are. You can see the end, right? It is upon you. It's now upon you. And the Most High is going to unleash his anger against you. And he's going to judge you according to your, all that shit you did knowingly. All right? And repay you for all your abominations. I will not look on you with pity, nor will I spare you. This is a Berean, okay? So that you can understand. Nor will I spare you. Meaning you're going to die a grievous death by pain. But what he's going to do is he's going to take you all the way through the end. Then he's going to melt you like the witch that you are. Not with water, but with fire. But I will punish you for your ways and for the abominations among you. All right? Whores, harlots, idolaters. Then will you know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. That name is in your mouth and you're so stupid. This is what the Lord power says. This is what Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai power says. Disaster. An unprecedented disaster. Behold, look, it is coming. The end has come. The end has come. It has roused itself against you. You can't see it now? Behold, it has come. Doom has come to you, O inhabitants of the land. The time has come. The day is near. There is panic on the mountains. That's in the governments. Instead of shouts of joy. Now, the shouts of joy are in the government, the 144 and the 1/3. We're shouting for joy. All right. Very soon, that's the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua, will pour out my wrath upon you and vent my anger again. Woo! You don't want to be in that position, but you are. I will judge you according to your ways and repay you for... Did we already get there? Yeah, we are. We're reading it again. Okay, doom has gone out. It said, behold, the day is here. It has come. Let me go back right here. I will not look on you with pity, nor will I spare you, but I will punish you for your ways and for your for the abominations among you. Then will you know that it is I, the Lord, who strikes the blow. Behold, the day is here, it has come, doom has gone out, the rod has budded, arrogance has bloomed, their violence has grown into a rod to punish their wickedness. None of them will remain, none of their multitude, none of their wealth, and nothing of that. That means everybody. Everybody who think, well, I got enough money. I built an underground uh, uh, bunker. No, I got enough money. I can do it. No, nobody. Everybody's going to be judged. The time has come. The day has arrived. Let the buyer not rejoice and the seller not mourn, for wrath is upon the whole multitude. That's everybody's going to go through their own judgment. The seller will surely not recover what he sold while both remain alive. Woo! He can keep you to the end. For the vision concerning the whole multitude will not be revoked, and because of their iniquity, not one of them will preserve his life. Okay, nothing's going to get you out of this. Not your little rocket into space or your little submarine or your doomsday bunker. All right? They have blown the trumpet. Who? We're blowing the trumpet. We let you know a long time ago, but you continued on. Being a hoe is more important than this moment right here. They have blown the trumpet and made everything ready, but no one goes to war. For my wrath is upon the whole multitude. The sword is outside. Plague and famine are within. In the country, they will die with the sword. And those in the city will be devoured by famine and plague. You're going to starve. You're gonna lose all that weight. You was trying to lose that weight. You're going to lose it now. You look like skin and bones, and it ain't going to be pretty. The survivors will escape and live in the mountains, moaning like the doves of the valley. The survivors talking about the elect of Israel. Okay? And they're going to scarcely make it and be scared. All right? For what they did, but they were forgiven. Each for his own iniquity. Every hand will go limp, and every knee will turn to water. They will put on sackcloth, and terror will overwhelm them. Shame will cover all their faces, and their heads will be shaved. They will throw their silver into the street. Their gold will seem unclean, will not sustain you. Silver and gold cannot save them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They cannot satisfy their appetites or fill their stomachs with wealth, for it became the stumbling block that brought their iniquity. His beautiful ornaments, they transformed into pride, proud as bit, and used them to fashion their vile images and detestable tools, idols. Therefore will I make these into something unclean for them, and I will hand these things over as plunders to foreigners and loot to the wicked of the earth who will defile them. I will turn my face away from them, and they will defile my treasured place. Violent men will enter it, and they will defile it. What am I looking for here? Okay, that's good enough. You see all of this? To take possession, I will end the pride of the mighty. Their holy place is profaned. Disaster upon disaster will come, and rumor after rumor. And they will seek a vision from the prophet, but instruction from the priest will perish. It will be in the famine of the word. All right? The king will mourn, the prince will be clothed with despair in the hands of the people of the land will tremble. I will deal with them according to their conduct, and will judge them by their own standards. Then they will know that I am the Lord. All right? So here's what's coming. And guess what? It's already began. Look at this. The sword is outside. Plague. What is a sword? Those are weapons. Guns, ammo, bombs. All right? People dying. Firefights. What is the plague? That's the CV. COVID-19. Omicron. Omega coming. And famine. No food. You starving. You're losing the weight that you always wanted to. But wait a minute. Now you're sick. Now you're looking bad. Got no teeth in your mouth and 2 black eyes. All right, so we're going to look at this real quick. All right, this is EurasiaNet. It says Kazakhstan's unrest narrative derailed by confusion and blackout. What really went on over there? It is easy to poke holes in the Kazakh government's official narrative, even as it continues to choke communications with the world outside. Now, this is 3 days ago. Today is the 12th, I believe. So on the 9th, that's 3 days ago. But what actually happened? Their narrative was this. Oh, well, they doubled the gas price and the people freaked out. That's not what's going on over there. Let's read this. As Kazakhstan battles its way out of a bloody, week-long crisis, the authorities are working hard to push their own story about the unrest that has, to date, claimed dozens of lives. So people died. Look at this. There's a sword. That's the sword right there. All right? Now let's look for famine, and let's look for pestilence, the plague. In an English language video message posted online, Foreign Minister Kazakian acknowledged that the roots of the trouble lay in what he termed peaceful demonstrations. This is bullshit. All right, this is the cover story. Triggered by a rise in car fuel prices, whatever. But those protests were later hijacked by local and foreign terrorist groups, Kazakian said. Kazakhstan. Their criminal activities caused riots. Wait a minute. Their criminal activities caused riots, looting. What's that word? And mass violence. People died. Okay? What is this? Looting, stealing, food, whatever. Kazakhstan lashed out at international media whose coverage he accused of creating false impression that only peaceful protesters had come out into the streets. In the meantime, however, the shutdown of telecommunications, see, this is what is coming to the United States. They shut down the internet, effectively shutting down the banks. What you gonna do when your little card don't work no more? Okay? Here's what's coming to the U.S. Riots, looting, rape, mass violence. Shutdown of communications means that foreign-based news outlets have been largely unable to contact anybody inside Kazakhstan for an independent account of events. So you could say whatever, that's why they were able to formulate their own, right? Their own narrative. If I typed in, I'm gonna continue on this. If I type in Kazakhstan revolt, nothing's gonna come up except for rise in car fuel prices, and the people went mad. No, they're not going to say anything about a pathogen lab, right, which is plagues. They're not going to say anything about a violent overthrow, right? They're not going to say anything about people over there starving and getting raped. They're not saying that. And moreover, foreign journalists accredited with Kazakhstan's foreign ministry have been denied entry into the country. Why? You don't want nobody coming in there telling the truth about what's going on over there. All right, I'm going to just graze through this now. Your foreign contingent said to have caused the most destruction. President Kasim Jomart Tokayev said on Twitter January 7th that 20,000 bandits had emerged from sleeper cells to launch a major assault on Almaty, and that they had a clearly defined strategy and were reporting to a central command point. That sounds like a military operation. On the same day, he tweeted to claim that many of the attackers were from outside Kazakhstan. Some of them were talking in a language that was not Kazakh, he said. And they tried to say that this dude had something to do with it. He was recognized as a local musician. You can read this. Go back and read it. Let's see. All right, so basically, it says, let's read this. A government-run Telegram account on January 9th cited the health ministry saying 164 people had been killed during the disturbances. Most of the fatalities were said to have been in Almaty. There were 2 children among the 103 people killed in the city, according to the health ministry bulletin conveyed by the Telegram. So really, there's no telling what the hell went on because they're keeping it a secret. They're controlling the flow of information. But later in the day, the health ministry reached out to the media to claim those figures, which were published on a government Telegram account initially created to coordinate the response to the CV-19 crisis, were incorrect. It provided no alternative figures. No telling what's going on. Concerns had been mounting. Here's the famine part. Concerns had been mounting over the past week that many households were unable to buy basic foodstuffs. They're starving over there, which led to the looting and the rioting. Since so many supermarkets and shopping centers had been looted. Here's what you're not hearing coming out of Kazakhstan. You're not hearing these things. All you're hearing is, well, the people got mad because they doubled the price in gas. That's all you're hearing. And that's a controlled narrative. There's your looting. There's your starvation, famine. An Almaty-based Eurasian Net correspondent reached by phone said that things had improved on that front over the weekend and that many stores were now reopening. Magnum, a major supermarket chain, on January 9th said it reopened 38 of its 68 outlets in Almaty. Fully, 26 of its stores were looted, causing damage worth 8.5 billion tenge, which is 19.6 million, the company said. The unrest was escalating on January 5th. President Tokayev appealed for assistance from the Russian-led collective, the CSTO, right, to help Kazakhstan overcome this terrorist threat. Okay, and now you're finishing up. So there's some meat in here on what actually happened. Not, well, they were mad and protested the doubling of the gas. All right. Now, this is Eurasia, and this is the one that came out the day before. Food and cash shortages spread as Kazakhstan throttles internet, food, that's the famine, cash. They shut down the internet. You couldn't get no money. They were stealing their money. I'm absolutely positive. Them fools had to get to looting and shooting. And my point is this, it's coming here. All right? Kazakhs woke on January 8th to find themselves for the fourth straight day cut off from the world. They shut down without an internet connection, essential there, too, for modern services, including paying for goods. Many were also beginning to run out of food. There it is, chaos. All right? It says, according to NetBlocks, the data provider Kazakh Telecom, the state-owned telecommunication giant, began throttling access on January 4th amid nationwide protests that began over fuel prices and quickly swept a nation with long-standing grievances about inequality and corruption. I don't think it was about that. Over fuel prices, no. The worst hit city is Almaty, epicenter of a violent government crackdown that has left dozens dead. All right, this is just the beginning. Yet even there, several customers of the Russian-owned Beeline mobile service reported that they could get online at times, and many sites are blocked. Telephone connections come and go through data, and cellular connections appear to be better in the though data and cellular connections appear to be better in western Kazakhstan, which has been spared the violence. Who lives there? Even government websites have been forced offline. All right, so it says many Kazakhs do their daily shopping with debit cards. These were often rendered useless by the outage because payment terminals depend on internet connections. By the end of the week, long lines were forming at ATM machines in Almaty, Nur Sultan, and Aktau as residents sought cash to produce staples, food, to procure necessary needs. Listen to this. Nurzek Zolbaris, a resident of Nur Sultan, told EurasiaNet that he stood over 30 minutes in a line to withdraw 10,000 tenge, $23 from a sperm bank, ATM machine in Nur Sultan's fashionable SL district. This is the daily limit imposed on those who can find a working ATM. $23 a day. Is that what it was? A day? Daily limit. Can you live on $23 a day? You're going to have to. At least you were getting something. It says the internet outage showed how the nation's economy wholly depends on it. The internet. Cashless payments went down, food supply chains were disrupted, long lines formed in supermarkets. It has only sent our society back to the early 2000s. The economist said just before his connection died and before EurasiaNet could ask permission to print his name. So you see what's going on here? Store owners understand that people have money in their bank accounts but have issues with withdrawals. They took their money. So they're giving out food essentials based on trust that customers will pay later when commercial bank services are restored. Don't you know that they're going to do this? Okay? They're going to do this. To get you to put that charagma, they're going to just shut everything down and say, oh, you want your money? Stand in this line right here. You'll be able to get it. All right? So go back and read the rest of this. All right? Because shutting down the internet is controlling everybody. What happens when the internet goes down? All right? So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, as they say. There's more to it, what happened over there, especially when you get into the pathogen labs that they overran. All right, which if you go back yesterday to the video, not the World War III update, but yesterday's video on my account, that explains it all. All right, so with that, we hope that the electorate edified. With that, we'll say shalom.